Ever wonder about the real kingpins of the drug world? The ones so powerful and secretive they could be straight out of a TV thriller? Well, they're real, and their stories are even more gripping. We're going to take a deep dive into the lives of these infamous figures. Hidden from the public eye, they've built empires, outsmarted law enforcement, and changed the rules of the game. Their world is one of risk, power, and high stakes, where a single decision can mean wealth or downfall. Join us as we uncover the true tales of these masterminds, revealing a reality that's more intense than fiction. So let's take a deep dive and uncover the true stories behind the biggest drug kingpins in the history of the world. Pablo Escobar. If one man could be said to represent the idea of a drug kingpin, that one man would be Pablo Escobar. He was more than just a figure in the shadows. He was a symbol of the power and terror that came with the drug trade in the late 20th century. As the head of the Medellin cartel in Colombia during the 70s and 80s, Escobar's influence and operations were vast and fearsome. His network was so extensive that it's estimated a staggering 80% of the cocaine that entered the United States at the time was under his control. At the height of his power, this amounted to an astonishing 15 tons of cocaine per day. Escobar's empire was built on more than just drug trafficking. He was ruthless, using violence and corruption to maintain his grip on the trade. His fortune, estimated at around $30 billion, wasn't just money, it represented control over an army and the audacity to even seek political office. His methods were brutal. Escobar didn't hesitate to eliminate rivals or corrupt government officials to maintain his power. His approach to obstacles was simple. If bribery didn't work, violence was the next step. The scale of his violence was extreme. He assassinated political candidates, judges, police officers, and journalists. His disregard for human life was starkly evident in the bombing of an airplane intended to kill a presidential candidate, which resulted in the tragic loss of 110 innocent lives. Despite his attempts to win public favor through philanthropic efforts, his reign of terror led to a drastic shift in public opinion. The acts of domestic terrorism he orchestrated overshadowed any attempt at redemption. When he was finally gunned down by government soldiers fleeing across rooftops, it was not just the end of a man, but the end of an era, marked by bloodshed and fear. El Chapo. The notorious Mexican drug lord is a figure whose legend rivals that of any crime fiction. Joaquin Guzman Loera, known as El Chapo, or Shorty due to his stature, is the pinnacle of the modern drug kingpin. Despite his average, unassuming appearance, Guzman's impact on the drug trade has been anything but ordinary. As the leader of the Sinaloa cartel, he oversaw the largest drug operation into the United States, dealing in massive quantities of cocaine, marijuana, methamphetamine, and heroin. Guzman's path to infamy seemed almost predestined, growing up in a family deeply entrenched in the drug trade. His uncle, one of the original Mexican drug smugglers, introduced young Joaquin to the business, setting the stage for his eventual rise to power. The internal conflicts and rivalries within the cartel, as well as battles with other cartels, quickly elevated Guzman's status. His decision to order an assassination in 2006, breaking a pact between cartels, ignited the brutal Mexican drug war. This bloody conflict has led to a staggering toll of over 60,000 deaths and 12,000 kidnappings, underscoring the ruthless nature of this trade. Despite his criminal empire, Guzman's first stint in prison from 1993 to 2001 showed his ability to bend the system to his will. He lived comfortably behind bars through a network of bribery and intimidation. His first escape was a feat of corruption and planning, involving the bribing of 78 people and costing over $2 million. His notoriety only grew after he was recaptured in 2015 and then made a cinematic escape the same year. El Chapo's second escape from a maximum security prison was straight out of a thriller. He slipped through a hole under the shower in his cell, disappearing into a mile-long tunnel leading to a construction site and temporary freedom. The story of El Chapo is a testament to the combination of cunning, brutality, and audacity that defines the most notorious figures in the drug trade. His legacy, marked by unparalleled criminal achievements and dramatic escapes, continues to fascinate the world. Frank Lucas. While it's true that Central America has produced a significant number of individuals involved in drug trafficking, the United States has also seen the emergence of its own notorious drug lords. Among them was Freeway Ricky Ross, who played a pivotal role in the crack cocaine surge of the mid-1980s, Nicky Barnes, who earned the moniker Mr. Untouchable despite eventually proving otherwise, and Jamecker Thompson, dubbed the Queen Pin. Perhaps surpassing them in infamy, however, was Frank Lucas. In the early 1970s, Lucas became infamous for flooding Harlem with his brand of heroin, known as Blue Magic. Hailing from North Carolina, Frank Lucas made his way to New York City, where he quickly became associated with local mobster Bumpy Johnson. Following Johnson's death, Lucas identified a void in the drug market that had been predominantly controlled by the Italian mafia. Leveraging connections with military personnel abroad, he carved out a direct supply line from Southeast Asia for his operation. Opium poppies were cultivated and processed into heroin, which was then smuggled into the United States using military aircraft. Lucas claimed that some of the heroin shipments were concealed within the coffins of American soldiers repatriated from Vietnam. Sandra Avila Beltran. In the dark world of drug trafficking, it's not only men who wield power and influence. Allow me to introduce you to Sandra Avila Beltran, famously known as the Queen of the Pacific. Her story defies stereotypes and underscores the ability of individuals, regardless of gender, to rise to prominence in a male-dominated industry. A Mexican drug trafficker navigated the treacherous waters of the drug trade with remarkable finesse. Her journey was marked by exceptional business acumen and a network of connections that propelled her to unparalleled heights of wealth and respect within this clandestine world. What set Sandra apart was her ability to navigate the intricacies of the drug trade with precision. Her business skills were second to none, allowing her to establish herself as a formidable force within the industry. While the drug trade often saw men at the forefront, Sandra Avila Beltran's ascent challenged these norms, proving that power and influence knew no gender boundaries. Her legacy serves as a reminder that in the darkest corners of the criminal world, individuals can rise to prominence through a combination of skill, determination, and an unrelenting pursuit of success. Sandra Avila Beltran, the Queen of the Pacific, remains a testament to the fact that even in a male-dominated underworld, women can carve their own path to greatness. These real-life Breaking Bad characters flourish in a world marked by power, money, and violence. Their stories serve as a cautionary tale, reminding us of the dark side of the drug trade. With that, we have come to an end for today's video. If you enjoyed watching this video, please subscribe to the channel and leave a like on this video. Share your thoughts in the comments on who you think is the most notorious drug lord in the history, and I will see you in the next one.